your presentation. Mr. Corpening will hold up a card to let you know how much time you've got remaining, and then we'll open up for 3 minutes of question and answer. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Zuha Asrar. I'm a current junior majoring in nutrition, and today we are going to be talking about Monsoon Magazine. I'm joined today by Sahaj.
Yep, I'm Sahaj Sabavadia, an exercise science major.
And we're going to just start off by talking about our organization. So we are Monsoon Magazine. Oh. Anyways. No, that's not. Okay, perfect. So we are Monsoon Magazine, an on-campus South Asian affairs advocacy organization, and we operate as a multifaceted platform to discuss the magazine, news pertaining to the South Asian audience on campus, and advocacy pertaining to South Asian issues on campus and at large. So essentially what we do is we provide a space for South Asian communities on campus and the diaspora to explore and express their interests, their curiosities as they pertain to our community and issues at UNC's campus. So we are essentially pursuing an opportunity to facilitate external communication in order to garner a greater audience for our magazine, for our publication, and really immerse South Asians here at UNC within the Carolina experience and offer them opportunities to do so. We have 2 copies of our magazine that we're going to go ahead and pass around that you guys can flip through as we start discussing a little bit more about our organization. Thank you. So here are some covers of some of the magazines that we've done in the past. This is our current flyer for Renaissance, which is our edition for this particular year that really emphasizes a reclamation of the South through different South Asian practices. Retrograde is an edition that we did last year that kind of emphasizes more of a retro vision of Bollywood actresses, and how we can kind of merge the contemporary and the classic to really comment on how South Asian diasporas have grown in the present day. And then lastly is Playground, which is kind of a testament to adolescence, to childhood, really just a creative expression of those forces that kind of guide our upbringing of immigrant families and that sort of angle. So you guys can go ahead and flip through. All of our work is done by our staff, which is made up of students entirely. And it's a really, really great opportunity for creatives to get involved with South Asian expression, with publication, with undergraduate publication, and those different opportunities. So this year, what we're gearing towards is a monsoon mehfil. And if you guys have not heard of the word mehfil before, it's essentially an Urdu word that references a celebration of culture through songs, through dance, through paintings, almost akin to a bazaar. And we think that this would be a really great opportunity to kind of further immerse our South Asian community on campus and the UNC community at large into South Asian art, South Asian expression, and South Asian creativity. We don't think that there has really been an event like this in the past, in the sense that celebrates South Asian efforts through art and through poetry. While there may be many different dance groups on campus, we think that this is a really all-encompassing event that invites all these different participants to really showcase their abilities and showcase the wealth of culture that we have to offer. So we have been in talks with different on-campus organizations, with different dance teams like Iktal, with Sama, which is an a cappella group, to kind of discuss more about what this project could look like. So essentially what we've done so far is really work on that community outreach, work on that collaborative effect and effort with these different organizations, and ensure that we're starting to gain submissions, gain artwork, and really create and curate this program. Right now, we're looking into booking venues, marketing events, and coordinating different aspects of this event, which we will get into specifics a little bit further.
And so specifically in terms of the budget, we're looking at a total estimated cost of $4,200. The venue we've determined will be around $3,000, catering $1,000, and other associated costs with presenting the art at around $300. And these values are based off of past events that we and other organizations have done. And so as a UNC organization, UNC Monsoon currently receives funding from the UNC student government. Unfortunately, most, if not all of this funding will be allocated towards the yearly print of our magazine. And so we will not be left with enough funding to realize an event, which is the point of that we'd like to make here, is that additional funding such as that provided through the council grant is instrumental in realizing this event. And so in summary, we're requesting exactly 3,300, which would cover the cost of venue and other art presentation materials. At a minimum, in order to ensure the event is possible, we would require $2,500.
Ziha and Sahaj, thank you so very much. Do you mind going back to your timeline for a quick moment?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And my question is in regards to the event itself. The funding from the Parents Council that we are doing right now is for next year. And so is this for this April that you're requesting the funds for an event for this April or for next year?
So we are requesting the funds for this particular upcoming season. Yes. So for this April, but this is a recurring event that we are trying to put into practice that we will likely be also requesting similar funds for in the coming year. But yes.
All right. So you anticipate that you would do a similar type of event perhaps
Yes.
next academic year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. I love that not only you're servicing South Asian community, but as well you're bringing art. I think that's fantastic. The question I would have is, how many students are you expecting to participate and engage and be part of this event?
Yes. So in the past, how we've been able to gauge interaction is really through the launch parties that we've had for our particular magazine. And I want to say last year, or yes, last year's launch party was attended by around 200 individuals. So we really had a lot of people coming in who were interacting with the magazine, who were able to see the efforts of our publication. So it is going to be affecting a pretty large body of students from the South Asian diaspora. This event, the Mehfil in particular, is geared towards expanding our reach, working not only within the Asian community, but beyond. We think that there's so many different organizations on campus that really cater to South Asian community, towards dance and towards that kind of angle, but we think that there's not really an opportunity for publication and for undergraduate publishing to be highlighted within that arena. So we really hope to gear these events towards that.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more question. Jennifer.
I'm Jennifer Lively. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. On one of your slides, it said 4,200 and the other one, it says 3,300. Could you clarify how much you're asking for from the Parents Council?
Yes, the total amount we're asking for is the second slide, the one with, yeah, correct. Yeah, and the reason is we've taken out the cost of catering as per the rules of the funding.
Hey, well, thank you for your presentation. We're running out of time. And so you'll hear from the Office of New Student and Family Programs. Usually this decision is made around April, and usually these funds become available like after July 1, but we're gonna follow up with you and figure out the timing. So we're a little bit out of sync with you right now on the timing, but let us follow up with you on that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome. We're so happy to have you with us. I'm Chrissy Coley. This is my husband, Tim. We're the chairs of the Carolina Parents Council. On behalf of our executive committee, which is here today, thank you for submitting an application for grant funding. We're very excited to hear about your proposal today. You'll have 7 minutes to present. Mr. Corpening will hold up a card to let you know how much time you have remaining, and then we'll open up for 3 minutes of question and answer. So thank you again and welcome.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. My name is Gabrielle Nolasco. I am a student ambassador at the Carolina Latinx Center. And today I'll be talking to you about El Inicio, which basically is a new program at the CLC. And ultimately means a new beginning. So ultimately, El Inicio is a new program that we implemented last year. So it's actually a program that did not exist when I first came to UNC, but it's ultimately a welcome reception for parents and students to really to inform students about resources on campus and providing guides about ultimately we're partnering up with campus partners, including campus health, campus safety, and just really informing them about all the academic resources. And it was definitely a program that I wasn't able to take advantage of, which I would have loved to, especially as a first gen student. I think that's something I could definitely have taken advantage of. I think it was until later into my own personal UNC career that I found out more about these resources. But not only that, we also have parent panels on during the event where people can openly talk about how they can best support their students, and really ultimately it's meant to bridge the gap between how parents can ultimately support their students in their UNC journey, and then so students can really take their best approach in how they can dive into their time at UNC. So here's a breakdown of the timeline. Ultimately, it just involves us securing a venue, making those brochures and guides, which are in a bilingual approach, which is English and Spanish. So everyone's on the same page and informative what everything's being provided. We also go down and, creating the flyers, build into the marketing, and then working those partners I mentioned, campus health and financial aid, building those connections, and overall just preparing for the event. And as, the event comes up to the date. And so ultimately we are targeting parents and students. As I mentioned, we are wanting to bridge that gap, that academic gap with parents and students, so they know how to best support their students. And so students can really, students to really ultimately maximize their time at UNC, and just really support the bridge between them so they can best make their time, in school. So ultimately here's a report of our event last year. So last year we had a registrants of 225 for the event, but we had more of a turnout as people were inviting their friends, their roommates. We had a bigger turnout. We provided guides, but because of our budget, we were short on print. So not everyone was able to walk away with a guide, which is something our goal is to have that, the English and Spanish guide, so they could walk away and make sure they are maximizing their awareness of what's going on at the event. And then ultimately, the impact today that goes on to Inicio is really increasing accessibility, but by providing that bilingual approach, by having those resources and guides in English and Spanish. But not only that, we do have live interpreters during the event where they have an earpiece, so they have a full understanding of what's being approached and talked to during the event. We're also encouraging and bringing awareness to this resource and having those workshops and collaboration. And ultimately by having those parent panels, we're creating understanding and belonging, just sharing of what they wish they had known before their students dived in. They're just sharing their experience of how they've supported their students. And then not only that, we're also providing awareness of current orgs on campus and how people can get involved. Because ultimately this event, not only is it to become aware of the resource on campus, but it serves as a way to network with people and build those familiar faces and know who they can ask to go to help when it comes to, for their future time at UNC. So ultimately, here's a breakdown of the budget. We have the student resource family guides, which is Spanish and English. It is $500. The venue, which was at the Alumni Hall, which will see ultimately just filled that community engagement, was $2,500. And then interpreters were $420. Just to have that bilingual approach. And then the last was food, which is $6,000. So here's a student testimonial about someone who attended the event, and ultimately they had shared to me when they first met the event, the friends they have today are all from the event. So the familiar faces they've built and the community they've had now today is from this event. And ultimately, they felt there was an event, a window to the Latinx community at UNC, and ultimately, and help them make the genuine connection, know who amongst their friends, not only are they building connections with their peers and friends, but they're also building that connection with faculty and staff on board, and just build that, ultimately build that community for them. And here is a recap photo of parents and students during the event, and just, everything going on. And that's everything. Yeah, thank you.
Gabriella, thank you so very much. Do we have questions? Alicia?
About doing it virtual for them and having more for the parents, they might not have access to online and not have to print so many and make it available. Maybe a little postcard. Here is the link, how to get all of this material. And plus it can go back and look at it if it's in their computer. So
yeah, I think that something our approach was to really build in, I guess, building a sense of community for parents. We want to foster that, because I think for my own personal experience, like my parents have never really felt like a part of the community. I think they just kind of feel like guests. And I think having this in-person event not just makes them feel like guests, but actually part of the UNC community, and feel like they're actually part of my UNC academic journey.
Other questions? Jennifer, oh, sorry, I thought. All right.
Hey, well, thank you for coming today and making your presentation. I'll just remind you that you'll hear from the Office of Student and Family Programs, New Students and Family Programs. It'll be in April that you'll get the information about your grant status. All right,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
More. We've done 80 of these.
We're actually staying on track. Hello and welcome. We're so happy to have you with us today. I'm Chrissy Coley. My husband Tim and I are chairs of the Carolina Parents Council. On behalf of our executive committee, which is here today, we'd like to welcome you and also thank you for submitting an application for grant funding. We're really excited to hear your proposal. As a part of our session today, you'll have 7 minutes to present. Mr. Corpening will hold up a card and let you know how much time you have remaining, and then we'll open it up for 3 minutes of question and answer. So thank you again and welcome.
So it's a pleasure to present in front of you all today. My name is Jessica Clark.
I'm Jessica Holloway.
My name is Maya Mitchell.
And I'm Elizabeth Irvin. And we're representing the Kappa Omicron chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, presenting to you Wave Control Learning Swimming Basics.
So the Kappa Omicron chapter has had a history of excellent programming, and in the history working with the Parent Council's grant, we've had really great success. And we also know that with the Parent Council's grant this year, we'll be able to expand our chapter pride and our legacy, as well as continue doing what we do best, which is serving our community, and then again, continue building our relationship with the Parents Council.
We might need some help with the slides. I don't think our clicker is working. No, you're good, but I can keep going. The purpose of this event is to educate college students on the importance of water safety and how to efficiently get this training. We want Wave Control to serve as a purpose where all Tar Heels can get this life-saving training without financial burden. I will now pass it off to Jessica to talk a little bit more about the impacts of this event and how we envision this event to go.
Thank you, Maya. So I have a question for you all. How did you learn how to swim? Did your parents put you into swimming lessons? Did you have a swim test requirement to graduate high school or college? Or perhaps one of your siblings just pushed you into the water and your fight or flight kicked in. Regardless of how you learn, the common theme is having the means and resources available to you for you to learn. Many in our community are not fortunate enough to have adequate resources to learn proper water safety training. Unfortunately, in the United States, thousands of people die every year from fatal drownings, and drowning is the leading cause of death of children. According to the American Red Cross, 79% of households with incomes less than $50,000, those kids have few to no swimming skills, meaning that these children are at higher risk for dying due to drowning. So our program is designed into two parts. The first part will involve our educational development and physical and mental health committee co-chairs putting on an event with certified professionals to raise awareness on why learning water safety training is important. And the second part will involve the hands-on training with certified personal trainers, where participants will be able to start their journey on becoming more comfortable and confident in the water. And furthermore, we'll send these participants home with information that they can share with their friends and family. I will now pass it on to Maya to talk about logistics.
Yeah, so here we can, oh, actually, before we do that, it's actually Liz talking about our student partnership.
Okay, so we plan to partner with a multitude of different on-campus and off-campus organizations. Firstly, being the UNC Student Recreation Center, just to provide an on-campus asset for our participants to be able to learn and grow more, and also to access their materials that they already offer on campus. Nextly, it'll be local community centers such as the YMCA or Hargrave to allow participants to have other places in the community to learn and continue to grow in the skills that we hope Wave Control will be able to teach them. We also decided to partner with the UNC swimming and diving team. We recognize the need for this program in our community, and what better way to get participants to come out than to be taught by their peers and their active other students in this community. And lastly, the Carolina Union Activities Board, which serves our over 800 plus Carolina organizations here on campus. We hope to utilize them to help promote and to continue to grow our program as well as other student programs on campus. And I'll now pass it to Maya to talk about logistics.
Thanks, Liz. So moving on, we have our timeline up here, and as you can see, planning would start pretty much immediately. First, we will want to reach out in the summer of 2024 to UNC Student Recreation Center to reach out about renting their Bowman Gray Memorial Pool or their Kessington Outdoor Pool. We would also reach out to them to discuss sharing some of their swim instructors with us, as well as other local swim instructors in the area. Moving towards the fall, we will definitely want to have those facilities and instructors confirmed, and we'll use this time to do some more planning, making sure that all of the training materials that we receive will benefit our community. In the winter, we want to start reaching out to those student organizations and gain their support through social media pubbing and through whether they want to come out and swim. And we want to have this event in March because it's bright and sunny, but it's right before spring break, so students can learn these life-saving skills before they go off on their spring break vacations. Next slide has our budget. We are asking the council for $11,738 to support this event. We first want to have 20 custom posters that will help with the water safety efforts, as well as this cost will cover renting the Bowman Pool and or the Kessington Outdoor Pool for two and a half hours over 10 days. We will also buy some swimming materials that are up there and some t-shirts that will have printed water safety information on there that the participants can take home, and the instructors. The participants will also be getting some certificates as well as other information to take home on their vacation. I will now pass it to Jessica to talk about some of our goals. Thank you.
So overall, our main goal is to teach water safety skills and to really educate the community. I mean, we also want to take this opportunity to highlight how economic disparities have impacted individuals' ability to gain these necessary skills and the ability to learn. And so we know that with economic burden, it has been hard for some students to have that opportunity. So we really want to be able to have the opportunity to do in-person teaching free of economic burden in a space where they're comfortable and it's accessible. And then lastly, we want to reduce unintentional drowning. Next slide. And so why the Kappa Omicron chapter? In the past couple of years, the Kappa Omicron chapter has had a lot of success with receiving grants from the Parents Council. And with these awards, we have been able to be recognized on campus, regional, and national levels, and as well as to just gain a lot of popularity for our events.
And so we'd like to thank you all for listening to our proposed project today, and we hope that you will contribute to keeping all the hills healthy on campus.
Well, Jessica, Maya, and Elizabeth, thank you very much for your presentation. At this time, we're going to open it up for Q&A. Do I have any questions? Elisa.
And I also really like how you present and how you look. It's awesome. So my question is always about safety. And I applaud you for trying to, teach swimming and water safety. Have you spoken with someone? Have they given you information about how long it takes to convey these lessons so that people can be safe in the pool? Because if they're going to be learning and then going on spring break, I kind of have a knot in my stomach thinking maybe they think that they're safer than what they are. Are we going to be contributing to drowning?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So of course, we kind of realized that 2.5 hours might not be enough for them to actually learn enough adequate resources to feel safe on a vacation. The hope is just to try to get them started on that journey. So maybe from this lesson, they'll feel a bit more comfortable to going more lessons, or maybe they'll be able to find more resources from local community centers that'll help them to advance their swimming skills.
We also are asking for $1,000 in insurance within the parent council grade as well.
All right, so I really applaud this effort. I having taught adults how to swim, it is a big deal and it is super duper important. I think this is very, very cool. I would say that the Red Cross would be a super duper partner for you to reach out to. They do a ton of work with adult educations and swim, and you'll need to have certified lifeguards there, like all the things. But I love what you're doing, but I highly recommend you reach out to the Red Cross.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Don't get outdoor pool in March. That's too cold.
Okay.
Going to span in 10 days. Is that what you guys are proposing? A 2.5-hour program for the attendant in a span of 10 days? Is that what you're?
Yes, ma'am. So we spread it out throughout 10 days so that we can be able to fit in more participants, because we realize if we do shorten it to like a couple of days, we probably wouldn't reach as many students as we would have reached by expanding it out to 10 days. So our typical attendance at our programs is around like an average of 50. But we're hoping with be able to like spread the word about this and it being something very important that maybe we can get up to 100, hopefully, because the more the better for something like this.
And then, like we mentioned earlier, we also plan to partner with other campus organizations and other organizations in the community who also garner 50+ participants. So in us working together to bring this out to the community, we're more than likely to reach our 100+ goal.
Really good presentation. With all that you all do, how did this particular opportunity rise to the top of your list and make you think that you guys could drive some success and change?
So me personally, I don't know how to swim. We kind of talked about it like as a group, and one of the big things that a lot of people didn't really have like the resources available to them to learn how to swim. And my advisor also kind of brought up that when she was at UNC that they had the swim test requirement, and she said if they didn't have that, she wouldn't even thought about learning how to swim or like realize the importance of it. So we felt like this was something to really highlight.
All right, y'all, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Just remind you that you'll hear from the Office of New Student and Family Programs. It'll be in April that you'll hear the status of your grant. All right, thank you very much, y'all. Great job.
Remy. That's what I thought. One more.
All right, y'all, one more.
I know that guy. It's good. How are you? Pretty good. How about you? All right. And what you do? Last one. You have a clicker here. It fails. It does work, but it's the battery's dying. This will also be always will have to get started.
Hello, welcome. My name is Chrissy Coley. My husband Tim and I are chairs of the Carolina Parents Council. On behalf of our executive committee, which is here today, I would like to thank you for submitting an application for a Parents Council grant. We look forward to hearing your proposal today. As a part of our session, you'll have 7 minutes to present, and Mr. Corpening will hold up a card to let you know how much time you have remaining, and then we'll open it up for 3 minutes of question and answer. So thank you again and welcome.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jose Cook Reyes. I am a student ambassador at the Carolina Latinx Center.
Hello, everybody. It's an honor to be here. My name is Selena Ocampo. I'm also a general student ambassador at the Carolina Latinx Center.
And today we are here to present to you the Latinx Leadership Alliance housed at the Carolina Latinx Center. This is funding the Latinx experience.
So who are we? We are the Latinx Leadership Alliance, also known as the LLA. So before I explain who we are, I really want to emphasize how we came to be. So before the creation of the LLA, there used to be a very much of a breakdown of the community. There wasn't really an integration of how to work together. There was a lack of collaboration, lack of communication, and overall clashing of events. So a lot of students commented that like, so how do we work together if I don't really know who is the leaders in my organizations? How do I know to collaborate with this club or that? So in order to like solve that problem, the LLA was created. And the overall goal of the LLA is to make collaboration much more easier, to be encouraged, to facilitate planning, and overall support the initiatives made by students who want to help out in our community, especially since the Latinx community is not so much represented here at Carolina. We really want to emphasize the importance that is our community to us and that we are here for these students.
Alrighty. And a survey we conducted at the beginning of the semester showed us that approximately 80% of our members felt that the LLA fostered community. And a lot of these members were here prior to the creation of LLA. So, meaning that these students were the most impacted by the LLA. These were the students that felt that the LLA created a community, a center for innovative exploration together, and a center for our culture to grow at this institution.
So what do we bring to Carolina? Well, first, one of our main student initiatives that we support is Bienvenidos a Carolina Barbecue. And this is an event that happens at the very beginning of the year, which is very much helpful for returning students, transfer students, as well as first-year students. As we can see on the upcoming slide, this is very accessible. It's outside of Connor Quad, right near the Davis Library. And it's honestly a perfect opportunity for students to like really see that there is a community here that is there to support them. At this event, there's food, games, performances, and just a perfect way to like get to know your community and know that there is people here to support you. And we are very much here for fun and other initiatives. So here is our Latinx organizations that are Greek Life, and they're the ones who spearhead the whole process of making what is the Carolina barbecue thing. And it's very important to our leaders that, you know, we support them so they can do their own initiatives and, you know, so help our own community.
One of our next largest events, which is also student-led, is Carnaval. Carnaval is held every single year on October the 15th or 14th. This is to mark the end of LHM, which is Latinx Heritage Month. However, we use Carnaval not only to celebrate the end of our month, but to also show that the celebration of our Latinidad continues post Latinx Heritage Month. So with Carnaval, we try to make it as accessible to students as possible, meaning we hold it in the pit, which is the heart of campus. As you can see here, we have some of our leadership member boards up top from Alpha and Mi Pueblo. We also have general body members enjoying themselves at Carnaval. We also have many activities for students there. We have face painting, whack-a-mole, which was brought by one of our student organizations, Sembra UNC, and it was a huge hit. It was able to let us be kids again. One of our most popular ones is our bull ride. We do have students sign a fee waiver. Sorry, not a fee waiver, a waiver, a liability waiver. But my personal record is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Very proud of that. But we also have a competition where at the end, we celebrate whoever gets the longest. And then we also have bailes folclóricos, which range from all over of the Latin American diaspora.
And finally, one of the things that we want to highlight is Noche Latinx. This is another student initiative by Mi Pueblo, and this is basically an award ceremony where we celebrate the achievements, accomplishments, or milestones from our student leaders and those who really embody our values of supporting our community. So here, on to the next slide. You can see that this is a very formal event. We come together, we eat, we have our little the ceremony as well as performances from Que Rico, which is also a member of the LLA. And it's overall really a nice night to really celebrate how far we came and what we did throughout the year. And especially since it's at the end of the academic year, it serves as a goodbye to seniors who are graduating and really celebrating our accomplishments. And it's really just a heartfelt moment to have with our own community.
And in regards to funding, we split our expenses into two different expenses, food and non-edible expenses. The reason being, simply we want to highlight, the versatility of this funding. As you can tell, we have the Bienvenidos at Carolina barbecue, which does end up being a total of $800. Carnaval, which is a total of $4,500, and Noche Latina, which ends up being approximately $3,000. In total, our total funding is $7,300, including food, and then non-edible total is $3,100.
All right, and finally, this is one of our testimonies from one of our members at the LLA. This is Elsa Landeros, who is also the co-president of Mi Pueblo, which is the largest Latinx-based organization here on campus. And as you can see that she is class of 2024, so she has firsthand experience of having no LLA present here at campus. And here we can see that she really emphasizes that the LLA has made a space for students to really celebrate our own heritage and have a very welcoming environment to know that there is support here at Carolina and we are here to support them. I also want to emphasize that it really is a sense of pride for us to be able to share our culture with everybody here and that we can share it with other people as well. We have events out in the pit, we have events out at Counter Quad, and it really is a way to share that culture and have everybody be able to participate and get involved.
Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to open up for question and answer. Do I have any questions? Jennifer.
Thank you so much. I love your presentation. Can you quickly describe the separation that you think between undergraduates and graduates that are using these different events that you have?
Sorry, could you repeat that question one more time a little bit louder? I didn't catch it.
Sure. I just wanted to ask, how many graduates versus undergraduates are using these different programs?
Yeah, so the majority of the LLA does comprise of undergraduate students. So we are primarily serving undergraduate students. These are the students that live on campus. These are the students that are closest to campus and the students that are most likely to show out to our events. So a large part of it is undergraduates. However, we do have a good amount of graduate students who show up. I've been to the Carolina barbecue and I had, LUO alumni who are now graduate students here who were there. And, they were there telling us everything that they did at Carolina during their undergrad and what they're doing now as a grad student.
Other questions?
Hey, well, thank y'all very much for making your presentation today. I'll just remind you that you'll hear from the Office of New Student and Family Programs. So you'll hear from them in April, and they'll tell you the status of your grant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have to say, Jose's one of our orientation leaders, so that's separate from what he does here. But when he said it made me feel like a kid again, and knowing that he is a full 18 years of age, I felt a little pang right about here.
Oh.
Anyway, my apologies, Tim and Chrissy. The floor is yours.
All right, let me ask you guys this. We are tracking early, so we actually have wrapped up at 3:28. We were originally going to wrap up with the presentations at 3:35. Would you guys like to take a 5-minute break? use the restroom, get a refill of a drink, and then we come back in here and start back in here like at 3:35. That's like 7 minutes. All right, sounds good. Oh, and we're also, when we come back in here, we'll get a picture. All right, I want to see the trophy.
The guy out there, I don't know his name. The Latinx guy. They're gonna translate everything for us.
Okay, Jasmine. No press.
Guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a student.
No, definitely staff.
Okay,
He's
I
been
bet
there
it's
for
just.
like 17 years.
Oh, then probably Jasmine.
He's gonna translate everything.
What do you mean?
Not bad.
All
We're
right.
gonna be in Spanish.
I love it.
I say, can you guys help us? Absolutely.
They can also, yeah. I think it's yeah. Well, if you're open to it, I mean, I assume that's what you mean too. If they're digital, we can also post them translated. You know? Right. Like digitally too. I don't think not just on campus. Oh, really? For IDST or EDUC 101? Yeah. Okay.
Admitted students day, everywhere we asked, nobody knew what to tell us. Uh-huh. It's a research program that funds us into research.
I may have thought. Oh, what does our office have interest in? One is what they're most popular anywhere that our institutions likely connect with, and it's much harder to find folks too. Maybe there's some professors who have bandwidth or care. Yeah. That's what you want from them, but connect as well. And the other one. Out there networking. And my gut tells me, I mean, also I see 49,290 out of 50,000, and that includes numbers in all of these, right? So, you know, works in one hand, half dozen in the other. Like you could either, you could just be consistent, do it as you've done the others, and then go, okay, let's take a 2 steps back, look at it all. What are the pain points? What are the areas we're feeling nervous about? I think the question around monsoon Medfield, it seems like they were really hoping this money would come this April, like in 2 months. That's my gut. Yeah, and that's just logistically not possible, the way we're set up. I have to look at the amount. There is an opportunity to consider, are there grant awards now that are not being used? We do have about $24,000 interest from the endowment investment that we being leadership team need to probably make a decision on how you do that. Otherwise it just sits there not really doing anything. So the typical thing that's been done is just go ahead and reinvest till we hit the mark. We're at like 780 something cash in and probably 960 pledges. So we're right there.
Now, I'm not gonna put you too much on the spot. Today, you could just do a hypothetical and say, if we hypothetically, I mean, I don't know, or you could say yes, not.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit extra thought power today, but if this, then what? You know, if next year, what? If not next year, but this year, what? And then I like work and we go from there. They entrust you with you three with the decision, final decision. Oh, yeah.
Peter was motivated.
Why this? I have.
But I just think.
50 to 100 people. Right. Drive them to do the thing. Maybe subsidize. A little.
Keep it going, keep it going.
But their advisor is a woman named Linda Douglas. Who might still actually have some employment at the.
So are you guys gonna hang out with Mary Victoria?
Yeah. For me, before Jen, right before Jen had a student.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it will.
A love of this group and sees it as an opportunity. Everything they showed you, yes, they come back year after year, but they heard the feedback of like either do something different or show us something new. And so instead of it finding sustainable funding for them, this is their sustainable funding. It almost feels like for a new idea.
We are, so, okay, you guys, we're going to go ahead and take a photo. And where we're going to stand is this, we're going to stand inside the U and face that way. So if everyone could just come inside the U and face that way, and then we'll get one.
Test, test, test. I heard a quick announcement. I think there's going to be a quick photo of us before our batteries are completely dead. We're going to move to the interior of the U. Chrissy, please correct me if I'm wrong. Interior of the U, looking at my direction, so we can capture some beautiful light on your faces and with some lovely banners behind you. Let's go ahead and hop on over and do that. Then we'll knock out the rest of our decisions. Call it a day. Have a great weekend. So join us in the middle. And from my perspective, you look great. You look really good. Rosemary, I wonder if I can get your help. No? I wonder if one of us can take a photo. You have the eye, so. Oh, never mind. It's someone else is taking the photo, Rosemary. My apologies.
So in order to stay on time, we have to move quickly. So if you guys can't see this nice guy who's been providing all of our food, you won't be on the picture.
And for folks who are in the back, what I'd love for you to think about is for the people in front of you, do you have a window? Do you have a space between their shoulders, their heads, where you have created a window? And much to what Jennifer said, if you can't see her, his camera, his face, we likely can't see you. Are you Drew? I knew it. Ken told me you'd be hanging around. Can you see the very ends? Can you see Peter with the glasses? Can you see Jennifer here? All right. I would like that. All right. Can you give us a countdown, Drew? If someone asks for a silly one, I'm going to be very upset. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Drew.
All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I think that we can make a commitment that we will head out of here at 4:35 p.m. It's when, or sooner, yeah. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. We've got 5 sessions to provide feedback on before we do our overall review. And what I'd like to propose is that we take 2 minutes each and discuss the pros and cons and a proposed level of funding. Is that okay with everyone?
Lightning round.
Okay. James, are we ready with timer? Okay, our first is a Hollywood intern program. Do I hear